So what are companies looking for in candidates when they are running these assessment centers? It all boils down to managerial qualities. So people skills, leadership, time management, and communication skills, etc. In a case study, you would normally be given information about a fictitious company, 10 to 20 pages containing company report, cash flow, company structure, memos, etc. And your job is to analyze all this information and figure out how to solve a problem or make a decision, and then also present your solution. A question could be, for example, what product line should the company invest in? You will always feel that you never have the amount of information and the time that you would like to be able to solve this case at the level of quality that you would like to. But don't get frazzled and don't panic, because part of the exercise is for the assessors to see how you deal with ambiguity and how you deal with time pressure. What's important here is your thought process. They want to see whether you are capable of analyzing large amounts of information in a very short time, whether you are decisive, whether you are able to solve problems. Don't get hung up in details. My experience when working on case studies was that I spent way too much time analyzing the background information. In the end, I was writing and there was so little time, and then I looked at my watch and I had like 15 minutes left. What? And I had so much that I still wanted to write down, but I had so little time to actually write down the solution part of my answer. So that is why time management is really important. If you feel like there are missing puzzle pieces, unclear information, try to get around it by simply writing down your assumptions to your answer. That way your assessor can look at it and understand your thought process. And also try to implement some structure. Use a lot of headers and bullet points instead of writing lengthy paragraphs, because after all, it's a case study, it's not an essay test. After you've completed the case study, normally you would be asked to present your solution. And there are basically two important parts to it. One, the content itself, which you already have, and number two, the way you present it, which I think is far more important than the content itself. The important thing is to concentrate on how you present the result, and even if you were not happy with your analysis of the case earlier, just get over it and just focus on this part and get on. This is the second chance to rework the structure. So if earlier you weren't happy with the way you structured it, now you have a chance to present it in a new light. Make sure you have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Basically give them some background information about the case, then your analysis, and then present your solution clearly. That's about it. But the most important thing in this exercise is to showcase your communication skills. I know, guys, this is so basic, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Make eye contact, pay attention to your posture, don't slump, keep your shoulders back, and turn up the volume. In-tray or E-tray exercise. This is basically a simulation of you as an employee in a company, and you will be given this large amount of emails that need action or that you need to reply to within a very short amount of time. You will notice that it is impossible to complete everything at the same consistent level of quality that you would like to. But remember, they never give you enough time. This is the point of this whole exercise. So at times you might feel like you're scrambling and you feel a bit anxious, but don't get too worried about doing these tasks perfectly. Because the point of the whole exercise is to put you in a difficult situation and see how you are able to deal with pressure, with deadlines, whether you are able to prioritize, to delegate, and to multitask, and they want to see how you manage your time. Number one, don't even attempt to complete any of these tasks perfectly. Number two, what is very important here is your time management skills. When I was doing my in-tray exercise and I was still writing on paper at that time, I was my mistake was that I was a bit over obsessing about the details, so I ended up spending far too much time on some of these tasks. But luckily, I completed everything in the end, although I feel like my hand was almost breaking off. So anyway, for example, if you have 30 emails and you have 60 minutes to complete everything, which gives you on average 2 minutes per task, before you start and tackle the email, try to gauge the priority first compared to other tasks or emails. So if you, for example, look at this email and it's about organizing some office party, which priority is maybe not so high, just decide from the start that maybe you are only going to spend like 30 seconds on it, because that way when when you encounter another more important email. For example, you suddenly get an email from your CEO asking you directly to do something, you can spend more time on this task instead. Because in the end, it's no use if you completed 10 emails wonderfully, perfectly, but you didn't complete the whole assignment. Here you would discuss or debate a topic together with other team members or work together to solve a problem. Of course, you should try to solve the actual problem, but what is most important here is your ability to work in a team, to listen to other people, to work together, and also your leadership skills. Actively engage in the discussion by contributing with your ideas and opinions. Be assertive, but at the same time show that you can also listen to what other people have to say. Demonstrate your leadership skills by showing initiative, for example, by leading the discussion, but at the same time also encourage those team members who are maybe not as outspoken. Here you would normally play the role of an employee, for example, a customer service representative, while your assessor, for example, would play an upset customer. The assessor wants to see how you deal with stressful situations and how you can apply your communication skills to solve a problem. And the client or assessor will make it tough for you. The complaint might sound so unreasonable that it might catch you completely off guard, and you might even feel a bit bullied. But don't get frazzled, because this is the whole point of the exercise, to see how you deal with this. The important thing here is not to be reactive. Have some kind of skeleton structure prepared. Although you don't know exactly what kind of case you will be dealing with, it will be some kind of case involving an upset or angry customer, a negotiation, or a disagreement. So start by establishing the facts that you already know about the situation, and then try to ask open-ended questions and gradually achieve a more common understanding about the situation and what, for example, upsets the client or what the other negotiation partner wants from you. And in the end, most important, don't forget to propose a solution to the problem. With psychometric tests, the company wants to test whether you have the right kind of capabilities and personality for a certain kind of jobs. While technical or intelligence tests are kind of self-explanatory, here's a tip for the personality tests. Don't try to adjust your answers or answer them in a certain way that you think will shed a more positive light on you. Don't try to present yourself as someone who you are not. Answer the questions honestly, and my tip here would be to try to put yourself in a positive and confident mood. Try to answer these questions as the person you are when you are at your best, instead of answering these questions in a way when you are in a crappy mood. I'll not cover interviews in much detail here, but what's most important to remember is that the assessment center is a whole big interview. So it's not only how you perform in the test and exercise that matter. The assessment center is a huge opportunity for your future employer to get to know you over a longer stretch of time compared to just in an interview that lasts only half an hour or an hour. It's like a simulation that gives them a taste of you. What I mean is give them a taste of what it would be like if they would hire you as an employee. That sounds better. Remember that you are being observed all the time, from how you interact with your fellow participants during break times to how you actually behave at the lunch buffet. But the most important thing is to actually just have some fun there. If I recall my experience, it was not just stressful. It was also a lot of fun. The atmosphere and the situation was kind of like being in a game show or like an American Idol, just without the crowd. So while doing all these complicated and demanding exercises and tests, you should keep in mind that your main goal should be to show the assessors that you have all these wonderful people skills, communication skills, etc. The fact that you've been invited to the assessment center at all already shows that the employer thinks that you have the right skills, the right education, achievements, experiences, and qualities. But there's no way that the assessors could actually know whether you already have them or if you've just written them down in your resume because they sound really good. So now all you have to do is to just concentrate everything you have within these 1 or 2 days and show them everything that you've got. So my last tip for you would be engage with the assessors outside of the formal settings of the tests and exercises. So that this could be at the start of the day, after the assessment center has ended. After all, they're just human beings and they want to really know you as a person and how you would fit in the company. So I wish you all the best for your assessment center. I'm sure you'll ace it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions and if this video was useful for you. Thanks so much for watching and see you again soon.